Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to all our wonderful listeners around the world. My name is Sarah, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Slow English Learning, the podcast where we help you speak English with confidence and without fear. Today, we have something really practical and useful for you because we're going to learn how to talk about your responsibilities in English. Responsibilities are the things you must do every day, the tasks you need to complete at home, at work, or at school. And knowing how to talk about them will make your English conversations much more natural and fluent. So grab a cup of tea or coffee, sit back, relax, and let's begin this learning adventure together.
Hello, everyone. I'm John, and I'm so happy to be here with Sarah today.
Hi, John. Thank you for joining me. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great, Sarah. I'm excited to talk about this topic because I think it's very important for learners.
I agree completely. Responsibilities are something we all have, right? Whether we are students, workers, parents, or children.
Exactly. Everyone has responsibilities. It's a part of life that we cannot avoid.
That's true. And you know what, John? Before we dive into our main topic, I want to say something important to all our listeners.
Please go ahead, Sarah. I think our listeners would love to hear what you have to say.
Thank you, John. Dear listeners, I want you to know that learning English is a journey, not a destination. What I mean is that learning takes time, and that's perfectly okay.
That's such an important message, Sarah. Learning doesn't happen overnight.
Exactly. And I want everyone to remember that making mistakes is not only normal, it's actually necessary for learning.
Yes, I like to say that mistakes are your teachers. Every mistake teaches you something new.
What a beautiful way to put it, John. Mistakes are your teachers. I love that.
Thank you. And I want to add something too. If you don't understand something we say today, don't worry. You can listen to this podcast again and again.
That's right. There's no rush. Take your time. Learn at your own pace. That's the beauty of podcasts.
Exactly. Okay, Sarah, shall we start talking about responsibilities?
Yes, let's start. John, can you tell our listeners what the word responsibility means in simple English?
Of course, let me explain it in the easiest way possible. A responsibility is something you must do or something you should do.
That's a good explanation. Can you give an example?
Sure, for example, if you are a student, your responsibility is to study and do your homework.
Perfect example. And if you are a parent, your responsibility is to take care of your children, right?
Yes, exactly. You see, everyone has different responsibilities depending on their role in life.
That's true. So, John, let me ask you something. What are your responsibilities at home?
That's a good question, Sarah. Let me think for a moment.
Take your time, John. This is good for our listeners to see. In real conversations, it's okay to pause and think before you answer.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay, so my responsibilities at home include cleaning my room, washing the dishes, and taking out the trash.
Those are very common household responsibilities. Do you have any other responsibilities?
Yes, I also have to walk my dog every morning and every evening.
Oh, you have a dog. That's wonderful. Walking the dog is definitely an important responsibility.
Yes, it is. My dog depends on me for exercise and fresh air, so I cannot forget this responsibility.
I love how you said that, John. The dog depends on you. That's what responsibilities are about, other people or animals depending on us.
Exactly right, Sarah. Now, what about you? What are your responsibilities at home?
Well, I have several responsibilities. I have to cook meals for my family, I need to do the laundry, and I must water the plants in my garden.
Those are important tasks. Do you enjoy doing these responsibilities?
That's an interesting question, John. Some responsibilities I enjoy, like cooking and watering my plants. But some responsibilities I don't enjoy so much, like doing the laundry.
I understand completely. I think that's normal. We all have responsibilities we like and responsibilities we don't like.
Exactly. But we still have to do them, right? That's what makes them responsible.
Yes, we must do them even if we don't want to. That's a very important point for our listeners to understand.
Absolutely. Now, John, I think we should teach our listeners some useful phrases for talking about responsibilities.
That's a great idea, Sarah. Let's start with some basic phrases. What's the first phrase we should teach?
I think we should start with I have to. This is one of the most common ways to talk about responsibilities.
Perfect. I have to is very useful. Can you give our listeners some examples?
Of course. For example, I have to go to work, I have to study English, I have to clean my house.
Those are excellent examples. Let me add a few more. I have to feed my cat. I have to pay my bills. I have to visit my grandmother.
Wonderful examples, John. Now, let's talk about another phrase. We can also say, I need to. This has a similar meaning to I have to.
Yes. I need to is also very common. Can you give some examples, Sarah?
Sure, I need to finish my homework. I need to call my mother. I need to buy groceries.
Great. And I can add, I need to exercise more. I need to save money. I need to learn new skills.
Perfect. Now, John, what's the difference between I have to and I need to? Some learners might be wondering about this.
That's a very good question. Honestly, Sarah, in everyday conversation, they are very similar. Most native speakers use them in the same way.
That's true. Sometimes I have to sounds a little stronger, like there's no choice. But most of the time, they mean the same thing.
Exactly. So, dear listeners, don't worry too much about the small difference. You can use both phrases.
Great advice. Now, let's teach another useful phrase. We can also say, I must, to talk about responsibilities.
Yes, I must is a little more formal, but it's still important to know.
Can you give some examples with I must, John?
Sure. I must finish this report. I must attend the meeting. I must remember to lock the door.
Those are good examples. I must often sounds more serious or more urgent than I have to.
That's right. So if something is very important, we might say I must instead of I have to.
Exactly. Now, John, I think we should also teach our listeners how to talk about responsibilities in the past.
Oh, that's important. How do we do that, Sarah?
We can say I had to. This is the past tense of I have to.
Can you give some examples?
Of course. Yesterday I had to work late. Last week I had to visit the doctor. This morning I had to wake up early.
Those are clear examples. Let me add some more. I had to clean my house yesterday. I had to help my friend move last weekend. I had to study all night for my exam.
Perfect. And we can also use I needed to for the past tense.
Yes, for example, I needed to finish my project. I needed to talk to my boss. I needed to fix my car.
Excellent. Now, let's talk about how to express future responsibilities. John, how can we do this?
Good question. We can say I will have to or I will need to.
That's right. Can you give our listeners some examples?
Sure. Tomorrow, I will have to wake up early. Next week, I will need to submit my report. Next month, I will have to renew my passport.
Those are great examples. We can also use going to for future responsibilities. For example, I'm going to clean my room tomorrow.
Yes, that's also very common and natural.
Now, John, I think we should talk about responsibilities at work because many of our listeners might be working.
That's an excellent idea. Work responsibilities are very important to know how to talk about.
So, John, can you tell us about some common work responsibilities?
Of course. Let me think about typical work responsibilities. Well, one common responsibility is to attend meetings.
Yes, many workers have to attend meetings. Can you make a sentence with this?
Sure. I have to attend a team meeting every Monday morning.
Perfect. What other work responsibilities are common?
Another common responsibility is to answer emails. Many people have to check and respond to emails as part of their job.
That's true. Can you make a sentence about this?
Yes, I need to answer at least 50 emails every day.
Wow, 50 emails. That's a lot of work.
Yes, it is. But that's the reality for many office workers today.
I understand. What other work responsibilities can you think of?
Well, many people have to write reports, meet deadlines, and communicate with clients or customers.
Those are all important responsibilities. Let me add some more. Some people have to manage a team, train new employees, or organize events.
Yes. And some people have to travel for work, present ideas to their boss, or solve problems for customers.
These are all excellent examples. Now, let's talk about responsibilities at school because we have many students listening to us.
Great idea. School responsibilities are very important for students to talk about.
So, John, what are some typical school responsibilities?
Well, the most obvious one is that students have to do their homework.
Yes, homework is definitely a big responsibility for students. Can you make a sentence?
Sure. I have to finish my math homework before tomorrow.
Perfect. What other school responsibilities can you think of?
Students also have to study for tests and exams. This is a very important responsibility.
Absolutely. Can you give an example sentence?
Yes. I need to study for my English exam this weekend.
Great example. What else do students have to do?
Students have to attend classes, participate in discussions, and sometimes work on group projects with other students.
Those are all important. Let me add some more. Students also have to read textbooks, write essays, and sometimes give presentations in front of the class.
Yes, and some students have responsibilities outside of class too, like being part of a sports team or a school club.
That's true. These are all extra responsibilities that students choose to take on.
Exactly. Now, Sarah, I think we should talk about family responsibilities because everyone has a family.
I completely agree. Family responsibilities are universal. Everyone can relate to them.
So, what are some common family responsibilities, Sarah?
Well, parents have the responsibility to take care of their children, provide food and shelter, and teach them good values.
Yes, parenting is one of the biggest responsibilities anyone can have.
Absolutely. Can you think of responsibilities that children have in the family?
Sure, children often have to help with household chores, respect their parents, and sometimes take care of younger siblings.
Those are good examples. Let me add that children also have the responsibility to study hard and make their parents proud.
That's a nice way to put it. What about responsibilities that everyone in the family shares?
Good question. I think everyone in the family has the responsibility to be kind to each other, communicate well, and help when someone needs support.
I love that, Sarah. Those are really important family responsibilities that we sometimes forget about.
Yes, responsibilities aren't always about tasks or chores. Sometimes they're about how we treat each other.
That's such an important point. Now, Sarah, I think we should teach our listeners how to talk about what happens when we don't fulfill our responsibilities.
Oh, that's important. What happens when we don't do what we're supposed to do?
Well, there can be consequences. For example, if a student doesn't do their homework, they might get a bad grade.
That's true. Can you give another example?
Sure, if an employee doesn't finish their work on time, they might disappoint their boss or even lose their job.
Yes, and if someone doesn't pay their bills, they might have problems with electricity or water being cut off.
These are all real consequences of not fulfilling our responsibilities.
Exactly. That's why it's important to take our responsibilities seriously, even when we don't feel like doing them.
I agree, but Sarah, what should we say in English when we fail to do our responsibility?
Good question. We can say, I forgot to, for example, I forgot to call my mother yesterday.
Yes. Or we can say, I didn't have time to clean my room today.
Those are good phrases. We can also say, for example, I couldn't finish my homework because I was sick.
These phrases help us explain why we didn't do something we were supposed to do.
Exactly. And it's important to take responsibility when we make mistakes.
What do you mean by that, Sarah?
I mean, instead of making excuses, we should admit when we didn't do something and promise to do better next time.
That's mature and professional. Can you give an example of how to do this?
Sure. Instead of saying it wasn't my fault, we can say, I'm sorry I didn't finish this on time. I will make sure it doesn't happen again.
That's a much better way to handle the situation.
Yes, taking responsibility for our mistakes shows good character.
I completely agree. Now, Sarah, I think we should practice some dialogues about responsibilities. This will help our listeners see how to use these phrases in real conversations.
That's an excellent idea, John. Let's do a few role play situations. How about we start with a conversation between a boss and an employee?
Perfect. I'll be the boss, and you will be the employee. Ready?
Ready, let's begin.
Good morning, Sarah. I need to talk to you about your responsibilities for this week.
Good morning. Of course, I'm listening.
You have to finish the marketing report by Friday. Can you do that?
Yes, I can. I have to finish the marketing report by Friday. I will start working on it today.
Great. Also, you need to attend the client meeting on Wednesday afternoon.
Understood. I need to attend the client meeting on Wednesday. What time is the meeting?
The meeting is at 2 o'clock. Please don't be late.
Don't worry, I will be there on time. Do I need to prepare anything for the meeting?
Yes, you must prepare a presentation about our new product.
Okay, I must prepare a presentation. I will work on it tomorrow.
Excellent. I'm confident you will do a great job.
Thank you. I will do my best.
Okay, everyone. That was a workplace conversation about responsibilities. Did you notice how we used the phrases we learned?
Yes, we used have to, need to, and must to talk about different responsibilities.
Exactly. Now, let's do another role play. How about a conversation between a parent and a child?
Good idea. This time I'll be the parent and you be the child.
Okay, I'm ready.
John, we need to talk about your responsibilities at home.
Okay, Mom, what do I need to do?
First, you have to clean your room every Saturday morning. It's very messy right now.
I know. I'm sorry. I will clean my room this Saturday, I promise.
Good. Also, you need to help your father wash the car on Sunday.
Okay, I need to help Dad wash the car on Sunday. What time should I help him?
Around 10 o'clock in the morning, is that okay for you?
Yes, that's fine. I don't have any plans on Sunday morning.
Perfect. And one more thing, You must finish your homework before you play video games.
But Mom, I really want to play games now.
I understand, but homework comes first. That's your responsibility as a student.
Okay, you're right. I will finish my homework first, and then I can play games.
That's my good boy. I'm proud of you for understanding.
Great job, Sarah. That was a very realistic parent-child conversation.
Thank you. I think our listeners can learn a lot from these examples.
Definitely. Now let's do one more role play. How about a conversation between two roommates discussing household responsibilities?
Perfect. That's a common situation for many people.
Okay, I'll start. Hey, Sarah, we need to talk about splitting the household chores.
Yes, I agree. We should organize our responsibilities better. What do you think?
Well, I think we should make a schedule. I can take care of the kitchen if you take care of the bathroom.
That sounds fair. So I have to clean the bathroom and you have to clean the kitchen.
Exactly, and we both need to take turns taking out the trash.
Good idea. So this week I will take out the trash and next week you will do it.
Yes, perfect. Also, we must remember to pay the rent by the first of each month.
You're right. I sometimes forget this. Maybe we should set a reminder on our phones.
That's a smart idea. We both have the responsibility to pay our share on time.
Agreed. And we also need to buy groceries every week. Should we go shopping together?
Yes, let's go together on Saturday mornings. That way we can share the work and make sure we don't forget anything.
Sounds like a plan. I'm glad we talked about this. Now we both know our responsibilities clearly.
Excellent role play, Sarah. I think that showed our listeners how to have a mature conversation about sharing responsibilities.
Thank you, John. These kinds of conversations are very important in real life.
Absolutely. Now, Sarah, I want to talk about something important. How can people stay motivated to fulfill their responsibilities, especially when they don't feel like doing them?
Oh, that's such a good question, John. I think everyone struggles with this sometimes.
Yes, even when we know we have to do something, sometimes we just don't want to do it.
That's true. So, what advice can we give our listeners about staying motivated?
Well, I think one good strategy is to remember why responsibility is important. What's the reason behind it?
Can you give an example?
Sure. If you don't want to study, remember that studying helps you get better grades, which helps you get a better job in the future.
That's good advice. Thinking about the long-term benefits can help us stay motivated.
Exactly. What other strategies can you suggest, Sarah?
I think breaking big responsibilities into smaller tasks can help. Instead of thinking, I have to clean the entire house, you can think, first I'll clean the kitchen, then I'll rest, then I'll clean the bedroom.
That's brilliant. Making tasks smaller and more manageable makes them feel less overwhelming.
Yes, and I also think rewarding yourself after completing a responsibility can help maintain motivation.
What kind of rewards do you mean?
Simple things like after I finish my homework, I will watch my favorite TV show, or after I clean my room, I will eat my favorite snack.
I love that. Giving yourself something to look forward to makes the responsibility easier to complete.
Exactly. And one more thing, I think it helps to remember that everyone has responsibilities. You're not alone in this.
That's a comforting thought. We're all in this together.
Yes, and for our listeners learning English, remember that practicing English is also a responsibility you have to yourself.
What a great point, Sarah. Learning English is a responsibility we take on for our own future and growth.
Exactly. And just like other responsibilities, it requires commitment and regular effort.
But unlike some responsibilities, learning English can actually be fun and enjoyable.
That's true, especially when you listen to podcasts like ours.
I'm glad you said that, Sarah. Speaking of our podcast, I think we're getting close to the end of today's episode.
Yes, we've covered so much today. Let's summarize what we learned before we finish.
Great idea. So we learned how to talk about responsibilities using phrases like I have to, I need to, and I must.
We also learned how to talk about past responsibilities using I had to and I needed to.
And we learned about future responsibilities using I will have to and I'm going to.
We practiced conversations about responsibilities at work, at school, and at home.
We also talked about what happens when we don't fulfill our responsibilities and how to take responsibility for our mistakes.
And we discussed strategies for staying motivated to complete our responsibilities.
Wow, we really covered a lot today.
We did, and I hope our listeners feel more confident about talking about their responsibilities in English now.
I'm sure they do. But before we say goodbye, I want to remind everyone about something important.
What's that, John?
Learning English is not about being perfect. It's about making progress little by little, day by day.
That's absolutely right. Even if you only learn one new phrase today, that's progress.
Exactly. And every time you practice speaking, even if you make mistakes, you're getting better.
Yes, don't be afraid of making mistakes. Mistakes are proof that you're trying.
And if someone laughs at your English or judges you, remember that their opinion doesn't matter.
What matters is your own growth and your own journey.
You're learning English for yourself, not for other people.
Exactly. So be proud of yourself for every step you take, no matter how small.
Dear listeners, we believe in you. We know you can do this.
Yes, keep practicing, keep learning, and never give up.
And remember, you have the responsibility to yourself to keep improving.
But this is a good kind of responsibility because it's helping you build a better future.
Absolutely. Now, before we finish, Sarah, shall we remind our listeners to subscribe to our channel?
Yes. Dear listeners, if you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to Slow English Learning.
When you subscribe, you'll get notified every time we release a new episode.
We release new podcasts every week with different topics to help you improve your English.
And we always speak slowly and clearly so that beginners can understand.
We also use simple vocabulary and explain everything in an easy way.
So please click that subscribe button. It helps us create more content for you.
And if you know anyone else who is learning English, please share this podcast with them.
Learning is better when we do it together.
Yes, build a community of learners and support each other.
You can practice the phrases we taught today with your friends or family.
That's a wonderful idea. Practice makes perfect.
Well, actually, practice makes progress. Perfection is not necessary.
Haha, you're absolutely right, John. Practice makes progress, not perfection.
Okay, Sarah, I think it's time to say goodbye to our wonderful listeners.
Yes, I think so too. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode, everyone.
We really appreciate you spending your time with us.
Remember to practice the phrases we learned today in your daily conversations.
And don't forget, you have the responsibility to keep learning and growing.
But this responsibility is a gift you give to yourself.
So embrace it, enjoy it, and be proud of it.
Until next time, take care of yourselves and keep speaking English with confidence.
Goodbye, everyone. See you in the next episode.
Goodbye, and remember, you're doing great.